It is a no ums video number 83 for March the 4th. No ums number 82 for March the 4th. I have on the board there no ums 82 for March the 2nd, which didn't happen. All right. So I kind of sat on something, and I've punched out a couple of videos in the last week, which is what I usually review on this thing. I finally got my Hound of Bertilion video out. Which was a little while ago actually. Okay, 3 videos. Hound of Bertilion video, which took me all of March to try and get done. Finally got that done, and had a little talk with myself about that because I was really over obsessing, I think, about getting everything perfect on that video. I mean, if it's the main argument of the video, you want to get it right. I was also just sort of an exercise in cutting down. It's like, what do I really want to talk about? And I finally got to what I really wanted to talk about. No one else wanted to talk about it back to me. That's fine. I'm sure it was kind of a confusing video to anyone. Anyone looked at the Hound of Bertilion and went, what the hell's that about? It's a Hound of the Baskervilles, where they mention Bertilion, Alphonse Bertilion, a French police officer who sounds like maybe got swept up in the Dreyfus affair. I will be reading about the Dreyfus affair in more detail later, and I guess I will revisit that. So there's that, which I finally got done. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to do a tag video. So I did a tag video, the behind the booktube behind the booktube tag, which I did. And at first I thought, okay, I'm being too myself and whatever in that video, and I'm not going to show it. I watched it and I was like, okay. And actually I watched the person who's kind of inspired the tag, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm actually maybe entering into the spirit of this, all right. And so I talked myself down and I did that. And then I went, you know what, I'm going to do just a traditional booktube video and see how that goes. And that was a Saturday reads. For me, I can't do a Friday reads because I'm still in the middle of the week with me. And I think what I'm going to do going forward is I'm going to try and make that a goal to do a Saturday reads on the 16th, basically halfway through the month. Hopefully I will have shifted, I'll shifted my reading by then to different stuff, and I will have different books to talk about then. So I will talk about different books on the 16th. That sounds fine to me. My goal is to find myself try and make one video in between now the 4th and the 16th. Basically trying to get into it's realistic to try and get at least one video a week. So that is my goal going forward. So yeah, I did that. Now, I didn't get much response back for any of these, but then again, I'm not really playing the booktube game. It's not a game. I'm not entering into the spirit of it quite so much yet, I guess, of really people comment on each other's videos, and there's a kind of a back and forth conversation. I have not really entered into that kind of conversation with people on booktube. I feel like the people that I was around with have either moved on or are, or have like 2,000, 4,000, a multitude of subscribers now, and it's not really they have the time to enter into that conversation with me. I have 80 subscribers, of which I'm sure maybe about 10 or 15 actually look at what I'm doing, if that. Depends on how you actually use booktube. I might be odd in that I go into my subscription list and scroll down to see what people are doing. So I see all their videos versus what a lot of people seem to do, which is they just depend on booktube, the YouTube algorithm, to actually just say, oh, you watch this person, here's their newest video up. And, understandably, with my weird kind of how I do things, that my videos would never get popped up in people's feeds, so people might not even be aware that I've made suddenly did a little flurry of videos. They might not be even really aware of that. So, you know, there's there's all those factors, and just, I'm an acquired taste, and I'm sure it takes a little bit of time for people to want to actually watch my videos. I think I should try and make a point of, like, I've got an idea for an essay video coming up, and we'll try and see if I can't make that into a 6 or 7 minute long video. Something that if you double the speed on, it's like a 3 minute long video. That might be a good goal for the video coming up. And yeah, it's a fairly simple rote topic that I think I could do. Now, if it's so simple and so rote, people may not be interested in it, but it's an achievable goal for me. And I think for me at the moment, for my no ums video here, I'm going to talk about just sort of building up a consistent pattern of making videos. Not so much for people talk about that for, like, oh, getting viewers, working with the algorithm. For me, I think it's just a matter of, if I can consistently just kind of start putting out videos, I will get less neurotic about making videos. I will get better at making videos. And, I'm not talking about the 5,800 and one or two videos or three videos that I've made on this channel, but the public videos. Just like consistently putting out a public video each week, going forward for the next little while, and see how that goes. See if I can't come up with little standard things that I can do. To look out for tag videos. That's a good way to participate in the wider community. People will watch those because, like, oh, I made that video, they made that video, and try and keep on with that. That would be a good thing going forward. So, try and be more sociable. How did those videos go? I think those videos went fairly well. I'm fairly good at I was fairly good at keeping myself on track. In my Saturday Reads video, I was worried that I was just going to start launching into in-depth discussions of each book. I don't think I did that. I'm going to try and make those as short and sweet as possible, even though I don't have much to talk about, but that's okay. Then I have less to do. I did go off on a couple of tangents, especially at the end of, like, the tag video, though that actually I thought was the best part of the video from my perspective. It's like, oh, I added something a little bit new there, of a little bit personal there. So I don't want to get so efficient that I denude myself of personality, but I also want to understand that a little of me goes a long ways, and I don't need to, if I feel like I'm going on, it means I've definitely been going on, and I should cut it short. Other than that, I've been doing my vocal exercises. Actually, Darren McGavin, I think it is, has actually put out a number of videos, a number of videos working on voice techniques, and there's a little bit of a backlog there. He hasn't been doing them for a while, so he's started doing them again, and I found those quite useful. So I'm going to go through those in hopes of refreshing my vocal exercises, because I think by this point, I mean, they're good exercises. They're good ways of trying to keep myself fresh. Definitely, I'm finding reading stuff out loud, I think, has also really helped with my vocal performance. Yeah. So and boy, Travels in West Africa was difficult. I'm finding the Rover Boys Go to School a breeze by comparison, but also quite just enjoyable, and getting to do voices. Doing fiction is kind of fun. For reading out loud, I might try, because I'm going to be reading a lot of stuff from the 1901, my reading 1901 reading project. I might try and save some of those for, unless they're quite short works, I might try and save those for just reading to myself as actual just reading projects. Like, I'll have to see what I'm going to read after Barbara Tuchman here. I've been reading, it's a rather large nonfiction on the period, but not written within the period. I'm going to try and find something to read within the period to myself. and be able to get through it in a little bit quicker of a time. That's definitely the thing I find. Like Travels in West Africa was really interesting, but it was like, oh, that was kind of a slog. There was quite a bit there, and it took me a long time. And it would have gone a lot quicker if I was just reading to myself. Reading out loud takes a good hunk of time. The Rover Boys series is quite good that way, and it's like I'm getting a chapter done a day with their 15-minute long chapters basically, and that's great. So yeah, so it is going well. This is kind of a little bit of a mix of my booktube goals and a little bit of mix of my 1901 project, but it's all good stuff. All good stuff. I think I will turn off the camera now and then turn it back on again. Do a quick breakdown of ideas for that essay video that I might try and do this week. All right, I will leave things there. More videos in just a moment.